Greetings, I'm Steve Cook, and it's your April board month recap. We just finished, it's April 8th. We just finished at about 8:20. Long meeting tonight, but a good meeting tonight. And so here's some of your highlights of tonight. First thing I want to call out is the opportunity for district recognitions. We recognized our Champion of Students Award for this month was Claire Gordon, director at the Pavilion for Bend Parks and Rec. Claire's being recognized as a champion for students for continuing to provide safe spaces for students, specifically women students that are interested in hockey and LGBT plus students who might be wanting to have an opportunity to have a safe space to kind of experience camaraderie and partnership and making that space accessible for those students. We were glad and excited to be able to award Claire with that award for this month. The second thing we did was pass Resolution 1987, which was read by Director Amy Tatum, which was an appreciation for this week being Teacher Appreciation Week. Then we got into our Student Voice Council report tonight. The Student Voice Council members in participation tonight were Iris Marshall from Bend High, Elliot DeMartin from Realms High School, and Dee Pressure also from Bend High. They shared about life and career readiness going on with Student Voice Council, the technology use policies, and continuing to work on feedback for the bias lessons and continue to make those more accurate and more useful. And then we went straight into the consent agenda. There was no public comment. And at the consent agenda, there was no discussion. Quick approval of everything on the consent agenda. There's a lot of information in there. There were 5 reports in consent for information. Follow up on board comments from last month regarding youth truth data and modified diploma graduates. The executive limitation 4.4, our facilities report was included in this month. We also had this year's sustainability update, our third quarter financial reports, and a bunch of policies and administrative regs that were going into place. And those will be in the agenda if you want to see those. And then we had a long night of reports. Started with 2 components of curricular adoption for secondary schools. The first one was science curricula, both at the middle school and the first year of the revamped high school kind of scope and sequence, which was the product that we are looking to get feedback on. Is called Peer Physics at the 9th grade level and Lab Aids at the middle school level. And so we had teachers and staff presenting on that. That was brought to us by the Director of Secondary Curriculum, Dean Richards. We also had Jackson Blackburn from Pilot Butte Middle School, Colleen Behrens, our science TOSA, Heidi Friesen, and Ron Crawford, both from Bend High School, talking about how the test runs of those 2 curricula have gone during this year while we were testing those curricula. So those will be out now for public viewing and public comment for the next few weeks. And then we will potentially be bringing that back to the board for the board's consideration for approval and adoption for next year's implementation at next month's May meeting. And then we moved into a healthy school, then we had a health curricular update. Similarly, it was a 6 through 12 health curricula. It's called Live Well. It's developed by Human Kinetics, and that was also presented to the board by Director Dean Richards. And that will also be available for community feedback and updates across the district for the next few weeks. Then we had Dr. Amy Snyder and Sean Reinhardt, our Executive Director of Student Services, present on the partnership of healthy schools. That's our partnership with the county on providing county health specialists in each of our high schools, our comprehensive high schools, and providing those resources and supports even in some of our middle schools as well. This is year 4 of this program, and we're starting to see some pretty positive impact. And that's what was presented tonight by Dr. Snyder in her presentation to the board about the effects of how we're supporting behavioral and mental health and wellness for our students in our middle schools and high schools. 4 years in, lots of positive outcomes. And then we went into action reports. Our first action our first action item was the district integrated plan presented by Dr. Burke. That's required by the state and has to have board input and improvement or considerations for improvement. That was approved by the board. The second action item tonight was the board of directors at the High Desert ESD vacancy. If you recall, Carlos Garcia is the Bend Lapine Schools representative to that board, and that would like to continue to serve for another term. And Bend Lapine Schools submitted our approval. The board submitted their approval for his consideration for approval by the ESD board for his position for the next 4 years on that board as well. His term ends in June of 2025. And that was unanimous as well. And then my report was just quickly talking about we've started bargaining with both our units. Well, that process is well underway, and we're hopeful that we can have that all resolved if we are lucky before the end of school. Also, a shout out for our second annual Life and Career Readiness Fair that was presented at Caldera High School this past March, and also our all-staff virtual meetings that we had a couple of weeks ago. Just excited about the participation level in those staff meetings. And then a reminder that we are still in the legislative session for this biennia. Lots to talk about, including accountability and lots of funding questions yet to be determined. And so we adjourned at 8:20. Our next board meeting will be on May 13th. We look forward to seeing you there at 5:30. Thank you.